loves to blame the war of Russia against Ukraine, but we get less than 0.3% of our trade with those countries. In fact, the things they make are things we already have here, energy and food, if the Prime Minister would get out of the way and let Canadians produce it. And maybe that's why Mark Carney disagrees with him. He says it's quite of inflation. It's quite broad, so it's not all imported inflation. In fact, most of it is now domestically generated inflation. And this Prime Minister is responsible for that inflation. Why won't he take responsibility?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, we know Canadians are struggling with the ability to pay their bills, with their abilities to support their families, with their concerns for the months ahead. That's why we've stepped up in terms of helping them. We're delivering help as a doubling of the GST rebate over 6 months with a check that should arrive in the coming weeks in Canadians' bank accounts. At the same time as we're moving forward with support for low-income renters and help for kids under 12 to send them to the dentist. Unfortunately, despite the Conservative leader's rhetoric, he is not supporting support for renters and dental. Why isn't he supporting?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, it's $500 billion of inflationary deficits that have bid up the cost of the goods we buy and the interest that we pay. Inflationary taxes are making it worse, including a tripling of the carbon tax, which will raise home heating prices. Maybe that's why Mark Carney, the future leader of the Liberal Party, is saying, and I quote, "But really now inflation is principally a domestic story." So he disagrees that it can all be blamed on the rest of the world. So who should Liberals believe? Their current leader or their future one?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
On this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, we listen to Canadians who are talking about the fact that they're having trouble paying for groceries, having trouble paying their bills, worried about what the winter is going to look like, which is why we've stepped up as a government to deliver checks to support them in the coming weeks with a GST rebate that is going to help 11 million households, and measures to help low-income families pay the rent as well as send their kids to the dentist. Why isn't the Conservative Party that says it cares about affordability stepping up to support on rental and dental? Why won't they support Canadians?